Samboy Lim, and the fifth guy is Angeles. There's a steal by the Dragon, and Angeles is going for a stroll in the park.
It's important for San Miguel Beer to be able to stay close to Anejo around 65 for most of this third quarter, because at least in the fourth, if they have a chance in the fourth quarter, then they might be able to pull off an upset.
An upset of colossal proportions at that.
That's correct.
Well,
playing without Mon Fernandez and Alvin Teng. No joke for San Miguel.
Nope. Of course, Ricardo Brown. Any word about Ricardo from your end, Mr. Maniego?
Well, I just read in the column of Quinito Henson in the Philippine Star that Ricardo Brown has just enrolled at Pepperdine University to complete his study, so I don't think he's coming back pretty soon.
Well, if he has just enrolled, then that might exclude him from further activity, at least in this year's wars. 51-47, 4-point lead for Anejo. Bobby Jose going up. Yes, sir. Again.
Anejo's defense has been very lax here in the opening period. They've allowed San Miguel Beer to score unmolested on their last 3 shots, and the Beermen are now breathing down the necks of the 65ers again.
And they better believe it. That's just a 2-point lead they're protecting right now. Freddy Ubaldi in 3-point country. Chito Luisaga against Bobby Jose on quirks from there.
Chito Luisaga, high point man for Anejo in the first half. He now has a total of 16.
And a 4-point lead for the 65ers. Certainly a lot more comfortable than a solo basket. Dignadice's lateral assault to the basket didn't pay off, with Chito Luisaga blocking it off the air for Anejo. Here's the destroyer. Almost stripped away by Hector Calma. Dandy Gonzalgo. He hasn't been very much of a factor in production for the 65ers in this ballgame so far. Freddy Ubaldi.
Probably having to guard Samboy Lim, taking away some of the effectiveness of Gonzalgo on offense, but Ubaldi responds and ups the lead of Anejo once again to 6.
You're right, Butch. Guarding Samboy Lim is practically a full-time job for anybody.
Yes.
The 3-point shot by Samboy, however, wouldn't drop. And here's Gonzalgo. Rudy Distrito. Oh, he's sore. That doesn't have anybody but himself to blame. Look at this. The ball slipped clear past his fingers, and he gives a very disgusted kick. Preemptive foul given up by Romulo Mamaril on the drive by Bobby Jose. Samboy against Dante. What else is new? Here comes Samboy.
Samboy getting away with a push that time.
That's right. He's learning to cope with a very sticky defense of Dante. Rudy Distrito.
Well, Hector Calma's not going to grow anymore.
Foul, Calma.
Well, that was a very, very gentlemanly thing for Rudy to do.
Not to step on
Yes, look
Hector's
at it.
face.
He studiously avoided stepping on poor Hector. Freddy Ubaldi. A little bit intimidated at first by the presence of Dignadice, but finally decided to cut loose.
So after San Miguel Beer opened with 6 straight points, Anejo answering with their own 6-point barrage to up the lead once again to 8.
57-49 is the official tally. 1 team foul apiece. Romulo Mamaril hounding Bobby Jose. Bobby Jose having a field day running the gauntlet. But
Mamaril merely waited for him at the basket.
got him anyway, huh?
Yes.
Frontal assault to the basket by Romulo Mamaril. Nothing there from him. Hector Calma brings it downtown for the White Shirts. Confronted by Rudy Distrito, he goes to the main man, Samboy. Off-balance shot. Fast break being engineered by the Destroyer. It won't happen. He'll have to take it from 15, but he makes it anyway.
Well, Anejo on the run now. They've upped their lead to 10 once again. 8 minutes and 7 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Well, this ball game is being played in spurts. Mostly the spurts coming from Anejo. 7:58 left in the third quarter. Dignadice tries to hit the baseline drive there by Angeles, but it was telegraphed. Here's Dante Gonzalgo. He's grimly determined to come through with 2 points.
Somehow.
Big rebound for Bobby Jose. Near steal by Rudy Distrito. It is completed as Freddy Ubaldi plants his claw securely on the leather and puts it into the iron.
4 points now for Freddy Ubaldi. So he's only 103 points away from 10,000.
I don't think he will reach that plateau tonight, Mr. Maniego.
Well, yes, not tonight.
I'll give him a few more games. Angeles to Sam. Ball almost lost there through carelessness. The shot clock is about to expire on them. Down to 2 seconds. The shot is up. Dignatise coming through in the nick of time.
With 6:57 remaining.
Well, the 65ers have had firm control of this ball game. They haven't really relinquished that lead since they established it midway in the first period. We're approaching the halfway house of the third quarter. 61-51 is the count. Rudy Distrito against Hector Calma. Watch for announcements on that matter. 3-point shot by Rudy.
Distrito, 3
He
points.
took it so nonchalantly, you'd think he had absolutely no doubts that he would make it.
And now it's a 13-point spread for Anejo. Well, we did notice so far in this ballgame that San Miguel Beer not really playing with the usual intensity that they're noted for.
Well, the absence of Mon Fernandez and Alvin Teng certainly is a big blow to their cause tonight, and it can really put your morale on a low ebb. Ubalde getting away from Angeles. And here's Norman Black, very pensive. I'd give $1 million for his thoughts right now, if I had $1 million. But I don't, so they'll just forget it.
Going through his mind, I think is, oh no, the lead is going up.
Yeah.
You don't want to be humiliated.
Well, he's looking for at least a respectable showing here for San Miguel Beer, whether they win or lose.
That's correct.
66-51, a 15-point advantage now for Anejo. The turnaround, 360 degrees. Nothing from Ives. Rudy Distrito out-sprinting all the red shirts beside him. Loizaga goes to Freddy. Door is shot to his face by Angeles. He tries the back door. Loizaga keeps it alive for the red shirts. A good assist to Dante. Dismal failure from three-point country by Gonzalgo. Score run change at 66-51 as Samboy goes to work. Well, they've got his number. They're double-teaming, triple-teaming him even.
That's correct. Smart move on the part of Anejo 65. They know Samboy Lim is the only consistent point producer on the floor for San Miguel Beer, actually for this ball game. So they're just keying the defense on him. Stop Samboy tonight, stop San Miguel.
Simple as all that. Chito Loizaga looking for somebody to receive the ball. Okay, nobody there. I'll take it myself.
25 seconds violation.
He's explosive, and he can help Samboy Lim in the offensive duties for San Miguel.
Explosive is absolutely right. We've seen him score 25 points in a single ball game, where he was kept down to maybe about nothing in previous games. Here he comes. Everybody and his brother diving for the leather. Dante versus Ives. Okay, we'll have to do it. We will have to do it all over again.
It would be interesting to find out how many balls that the PBA actually uses during an entire year. Probably not all that many.
You're the master of sports trivia, Mr. Maniego. You figure it out.
We'll find out.
66-51, 15-point lead for Anejo. 4:16 left in the third period. Chito Loizaga preparing to make his move. Gets a nice pick from Rudy Distrito, but Postanes is right back on top of him. Good defensive posture by Postanes, who also got the rebound.
4-on-2 break.
He figures to go all the way. Yes, he does. Okay, Dodong Diamond looking for his 7th marker. All of a sudden, he didn't look very much like a jewel.
Looked more like cut glass that time.
66-53, still a Baker's dozen lead going for the 65ers. Looking for win number 1 right in their very first outing here in the Old Filipino. Rudy against France. Illegal defense again called on San Miguel, and this time it's going to be a technical. Incidentally, this is the main event in tonight's doubleheader. The first game will be brought to you right after this match, and this will see the initial game of both Presto and Pepsi Cola. It's been a long time since we saw Pepsi Cola, so Pepsi fans would do well to stay up for that game, which will probably take you all the way to the wee hours of the morning.
We'll check on their first conference free throw percentages, Joe. Rudy Distrito is 83%, and Chito Loizaga is 87%.
Not bad.
Not bad for both.
That was a careless shot taken by Dante Gonzalgo. Didn't have a chance at all. Agustin going for the fast break to Samboy's home run.
Probably the easiest basket for Samboy Lim all evening long.
He's had to bleed for all his previous points. 67-55. Rudy put a tall arc, and Freddie keeps it alive for the red shirts. Here's Romulo Mamaril. Ignatize was able to tie him up, but the ball slipped past his hands, and it's going to stay with Anejo. 67-55, dozen-point lead for Anejo. Dante Gonzalgo inbounding from the baseline. Long, tall pass to Philip Cesar. Here's Prince Philip. The turnaround. A tad short.
I think it was Ines Ignatice who tipped the ball in. Let's check if we have the slow-mo on that.
I'm glad you brought it up because I couldn't believe my eyes, Mr. Banyego. I thought it was playing tricks on me. Let's see this. Yes, it was him, all right.
The basket should be credited to Romulo Mamaril, who was the closest Anejo player, I believe, to the action.
That's the rule. 69-57. An unearned basket there for Romulo Mamaril. 12-point lead for Anejo. 2:23 left in the third period. Here's Freddy Ubalde against the outstretched arms of Agustin. It won't go that time. Hey, Postanes is showing terrific might off the defensive boards. Samboy scoots home for another home run.
So the lead of Anejo down to 10 points with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining here in the third.
69-59. Coming out of a worried huddle with Norman Pag is the gallant five for San Miguel Beer, composed of Ato Agustin, Ives Ignatice, Franz Pumarin at point, Postanes, Samboy Lim. For Sonny Jaworski, well, he is leading the unit himself with Dante Gonzalgo, Philip Cesar, Romulo Mamaril, and this guy who is about to make his move.
Well, on screen we can see Dindo Pumaran together with Brent Carmichael. Brent Carmichael, of course, the import of Magnolia in the PBL Challenge Cup.
I understand these guys will be the guest of the Scoop sa Kamayan. Is it going to be tomorrow? Anyway.
Friday,
okay. Franz Pumaran in the attempt to take the ball away from Sonny Jaworski commits a foul, but that big round of applause was intended for Sonny Jaworski, who took a nice cartwheel there after hitting the ground. Look at this. Do you believe this guy's 44 years old? I used to be able to do that about 30 years ago.
when you were 10.
I'll make that 5.
Okay.
Dante Gonzalgo fires over the head of Agustin.
Well, the 3-inch height advantage used to the max by Dante Gonzalgo.
Is now in double figures. 10 points for Dante. 71-59. Dozen-point lead for Anejo. Samboy. And he's just doing his thing.
Yeah, well, if there's one player who can do it all, it's probably Samboy. Here in the reprieve.
Here's Samboy again. The silver lining amidst an otherwise dark horizon for the San Miguel Beermen is the towering performance tonight of the Skywalker or the Dragon. Call him whatever you will. Philip Cesar. Yes, sir. And about this point, I am about to pop my second Jubilon E+ capsule into my mouth. And that's going to allow me to last the rest of this ball game and also enable me to dance the night away at Faces. Hey, I'm not selling you Jones Bridge when I harp on the merits of Jubilon E+. It really works on me. I'm sure it works for a lot of the superstars down there. Jubilon E+, it's essential. Mamaril is on Dignatice.
5 on the shot clock.
Jaworski intervened. Succeeded in stripping the ball away. Dignatice almost regained it in the backcourt. Bobby Jose saves the situation for San Miguel Beer. He's going to go all the way.
Missing on the left-handed layup. 3-on-2 break. Between the legs.
Now we've seen everything. That bit of action certainly brought the house down.
Anejo did not attempt a single free throw in the first half. They're making up for it here in the third period.
Game clock has been frozen at 11 seconds. That's how much time remains in the third period. We still have a full 12 minutes for the final stretch. In the meantime, we've got a fresh 14-point lead for Anejo, 75-61.
I predict that that pass by Jaworski between the legs will be frozen for eternity.
30-foot shot by Samboy, almost dropped. The follow-up by Ives came too late, but it didn't drop. Tonight's Independence Day offering the PBA All-Filipino Conference, a big 14-point lead going for Anejo. San Miguel launches its offensive. Bobby Jose lobs it to low post. Ives Dignadice can't seem to extricate himself from Romulo Mamaril. Fires anyway on a follow-away.
The only shot that he could take in that situation against Mamaril, and he makes it.
The elongated tentacles of Romulo Mamaril, once wrapped around your body, can really bother you. And there is Samboy rejecting Villanil. He misses a second time. Samboy has the leather with the right wing. Let's see him go past Gonzalo and Villanil. He's right in the thick of the battle for the rebound, but Mamaril prevails. Jaworski is in open court. He's on the fast lane. A failure. They've certainly picked up the tempo at this stage. Franz Pumarin cutting loose from 18, gets the ball right back. He's going to try from three-point country. Nope, he dances inside, gets it to Pustanis. The finger roll didn't work. San Miguel is having a lot of opportunities, which they are bungling. Villanil left open. Well, this wouldn't be such a lopsided score if they had just converted on those easy opportunities.
Yes, they missed at least 4 easy layups in this ball game so far.
77-63. Frontal assault to the basket. Swatted by Mamaril. And he does the same thing to Pustanis.
However, there is a foul whistle.
Good shooting hand displayed by Pustanis. And a helpless Ramon Fernandez watching from the sidelines in civilian clothes. (77-64). Baker's dozen spread for Anejo. A shovel pass by Sonny Jaworski is intercepted by Pustanis. 10-10 remaining in this basketball game. Franz Pumarin cops out at the side of Jaworski. Samboy. They got the ball to Samboy again. There's that familiar confrontation with Villanil. This time he took it from 16. Jaworski with a long diagonal to Villanil. The double team worked beautifully.
And there's going to be a switch on the defense. Gonzalo goes back to Samboy Lim.
9:42 remaining. Samboy against Dante, like you pointed out. And here's Bobby Jose inside heavy traffic. Rejected.
Angeles makes the first.
Josel Angeles. It's a very unusual first name.
If I'm not mistaken, he's from Cavite.
77-66, 11-point lead for Anejo. And only the first for Philip Cesar. 77-66 is the count. Franz Pumarin.
Well, I would say this is a low-scoring game.
This is very similar to the first game we witnessed between Pepsi Cola and Presto, but the scoring picked up in the last few minutes of that ball game. Well, you will get to watch that on a delayed basis right after this match between Anejo and San Miguel, and Jaworski is going to be called for an offensive foul. That's just an 11-point deficit they're looking at. Could have been 9 if the drive by Angeles had worked. Well, Mamaril is the likeliest candidate for disqualification. Incidentally, the recipe for a perfectly delicious show will be yours very soon. Watch the Men in Music together with Miss Bernie Varga, Oji Alcacid, and Carlo Orosa in a show that's sure to fill your appetite. June 22 and 23, Friday and Saturday at 9 p.m. Men in Music at the Music Museum. And I'm supposed to say, okay. Tickets available at the Music Museum and select the Cheki's outlets. That last was for that last conversion. 79-68.
By Peter Aguilar.
Near steal by Philip Cesar.
Traveling violation and Ives Dignadice.
Here comes Samboy. Look at him threading the needle.
Yes.
And the Bearmen are back in business, down to just a single digit. Another opportunity in the horizon for the defending champions. Interest has certainly picked up in this ball game after San Miguel broke through that double-digit barrier to chop down the deficit to just 9 points. They also have the ball on their side of the floor. Here's Samboy Lim making his move against Dante Gonzalgo. And look, Angeles coming out of nowhere, and it's just a 7-point lead now for Anejo.
Well, Angeles took the ball away from Peter Aguilar, who already had a defensive rebound. That's hustle for you, Joe.
Well, the same intensity and determination of San Miguel Beer that made them champions for 4 consecutive conferences in 88 and 89 are manifest again at this juncture of the ball game. But that conversion on the Anejo side of the floor just increased their lead again to 9. 81-72. Here's Angeles getting a lot of playing time tonight from Norman Black. Calma moves closer. Bullseye.
Well, the bench has done its job for San Miguel Beer, and now it's up to the frontliners to deliver the final uphill climb if they still have it in them.
Well, not if Chito Lizaga keeps connecting from just about every conceivable angle. 83-74, bench scoring. Look at this. San Miguel Beer came up with 18 against Anejo's 33.
Well, most of the points of San Miguel off the bench coming from Giselle Angeles.
That was a mad sprint for the ball between Dante Gonzalgo and Samboy Lim. Jaworski with a... You know, in the honor roll of our sharpshooters, I think the guy on top is Jojo Lastimosa, who has already won the award at least 7 times.
They probably have enough appliances for a whole house. Maybe they should have a free throw shooting contest.
Dignatisi is visibly tired.
Yes, he's breathing through his mouth. It's a sure sign of fatigue.
Practically gulped all the oxygen inside the Ultra with that second charity. 85-75, still a double-digit spread going for Anejo with 6:22 left in the ball game. And I think the only guy who has surpassed Jojo Lastimosa's performance from the free throw line was Mon Fernandez, who has already won 8 JC headphone stereos. That's amazing, considering that he had been on the floor almost all night, and he had been playing magnificent defense.
Well, he's doing everything he can, but Anejo Rum 65 continues to come at San Miguel Beer in waves.
Practically drowning them at this point.
Yes.
11-point advantage for San Miguel. Going back to that last bit of action, I think Dante Gonzalgo simply followed the line of least resistance. He was too tired to go galloping down court and chasing Samboy Lim, so he just gave up the foul right in the backcourt. And it pays off.
Yes.
Samboy missing the first charity.
Well, Samboy Lim also visibly tired at this point.
I don't believe that. 2 successive failures by Samboy. Very uncharacteristic of the Dragon. 86-75 is still the count. 11-point lead for San Miguel Beer. We're at the exact halfway point of the final quarter. Philip against Dignatisi. And
Dignatisi showing his Iloilo traits there with a football kick.
I think he's trying to vie for a berth in the World Cup.
Yes, which is ongoing right now. It's the biggest sporting event in the world.
Every 4 years it happens.
Yes, other than the Olympics, of course.
They say it's even bigger than the Olympics as far as the Europeans are concerned anyway.
Yes.
Peter Aguilar was perfectly open. 88-75, another baker's dozen spread for Anejo.
Well, the scoring has indeed picked up here in the 4th period.
Well, whether the foul was committed in the act of shooting or not, it really didn't matter because Anejo had been in penalty since the last couple of minutes. Samboy looking for his 20th marker tonight. It's there. 88-77. They're still fighting the dust of Anejo to the tune of 11 points. 5 minutes and 20 left. First outing the old Filipino for both ball clubs. Philip against Ives Dignatisi. Dante Gonzalgo trying to get away from Samboy Lim. Good motion offense being displayed here by Anejo, but they can find an opening. Shot clock down to 3 seconds. Philip Cesar.
Says thank you to Giselle Angeles for tapping the ball to him.
Back to a 13-point spread for Anejo. 90-77. Angeles. Samboy has just been relieved by Norman Black, a well-deserved rest for the Dragon, but in his absence, I wonder what the fate of San Miguel will be in these last 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
Maybe there'll be somebody else who'll come up with a scoring burst.
Right now, the scoring burst is still going on the Anejo side of the floor. 92-77. That's a 15-point mountain that San Miguel will have to climb with only 4 minutes and 17 left. Offensive rebound by Ives. The follow-up, and he's called for an offensive foul. A whopping 15-point lead for Anejo, and the 65ers seem to be cruising to an easy victory over the defending champions in the All Filipino. What with the badly decimated ranks of the San Miguel Beermen. 92-77 is the official count, and Sonny Jaworski has the leather for the 65ers. He's looking down at his guard, and that's Hector Calma. Chito Luisaga against Samboy. Jockeying for position is Peter Aguilar. At the right corner, Daddy Gonzalgo waiting for the ball to get to him. Instead, Luisaga launches it from 25. Won't go. Hefty rebound there for Ives Dignatice, and the fall away by Agustin gives San Miguel 2 points, but they're still looking at a 13-point deficit, 92-79. 3 minutes and 37 left. A good deal of the San Miguel fans seem to have waved the white flag of surrender. A lot of them are making a beeline for the nearest exits. A turnover, 92-79 is the count. Here's Hector Calma. They haven't really gotten all that much mileage from Hector tonight in terms of points. Lim works it right back to Postanes. Jaworski reached in. Postanes looking for his 8th marker tonight, despite what seems to be the losing cause of San Miguel Beer.
Well, San Miguel Beer had been able to make some of the free throws they'd missed. This would have been a closer game.
You can say that again. 92-79. Am I glad you're not Dr. J, because he would have really said it again. We got 2 minutes and 59 left in the ball game. Chito Loizaga standing right in the path of Postanes, but not even the barrel chest of Loizaga could prevent that heroic drive of Postanes.
Still mathematically possible for San Miguel Beer to stay.
94-81. Samboy is on the stripe, you know. He's been so lovey-dovey with that stripe, they ought to get married now.
So Samboy Lim looking at the scoreboard, probably thinking, puede pa.
Well, mathematically, yes. But the probability is practically nil at this point.
Yes, it looks like San Miguel Beer is really spent, especially their first stringers.
94-83. They're chipping away at that lead 1 point every minute. And they've just run out of minutes with only 2 minutes and 12 left in the game clock. We're approaching the twilight zone. Ives Dignatice with another attempt at the heist.
6 seconds, shot clock.
6-second shot clock. One more time around the block for the red shirts. Here's Chito Loizaga. Devastating screen set up there by Dante Gonzalgo. Still a failure by Chito. And here comes Samboy.
Last 2 minutes.
Samboy punctuating the last 2 minutes with a nice effort. And these last 2 minutes brought to you by Emperador Brandy. Enjoy it like a king. Exact time remaining reflected at the bottom right-hand side of your screens. There's really not that much time for San Miguel Beer to mount a rally. But like we said, it's still possible.
Just a 9-point lead.
And then Anejo is using the luxury.
Gonzalgo, 3 points.
And Gonzalgo finally got his ICBM through, 97-85, and that may well have put the game out of reach for the defending champions. Certainly, that unproductive thrust did not help their cause one bit. And in the background, you can hear the familiar chanting of the die-hard Anejo fans. The runners-up in the first conference are well on their way to posting their first victory in the All Filipino. Getting up on the right foot. Jaworski.
25
25 seconds, violation.
With 1 minute and 4 seconds left in this basketball game, only half of the 10,000 who were around at the beginning of this game are still here. And there's a mid-air collision between Samboy and Philip Cesar. Well, at least San Miguel Beer can look for a more decent defeat by chopping down that deficit to maybe about 6 or 5 points.
Full court press by the Beer men.
Jaworski crowded by Hector and Samboy.
56 seconds remaining, so they may gamble on making some steals here.
Otto Agustin giving up the foul on Jaworski.
50 seconds remaining.
Well, if you ask me, this is simply prolonging the agony of San Miguel Beer. But then it speaks so well of the team spirit that they're still trying despite all the odds being stacked against them at this juncture.
This, for me, is the main difference between covering the PBA and the PBL. In the PBL, we are using pro rules, and the players are being sent to the line in an effort to get the ball back. The big difference here is in the PBA, the players make the free throws.
That's true. Well, it hasn't been his usual self tonight. He has been responsible for only 10 points. Only because Hector Calma on any given day would be good for at least 15 or 16.
Well, Anejo Ram 65 gets to the century mark.
100-87. Well, don't leave us after this ball game, ladies and gentlemen, because immediately following will be the delayed telecast of the first game. That's right, the match that preceded this one between Anejo and San Miguel, and that is the encounter between the Presto Tivolis and the Pepsi Cola Hotshots.
And you'll be surprised at how close that game will be.
And Butch Maniego here will be doing that with Mr. Ed Pixon. Good-looking fellow, huh? Reminds you of Paul Salcedo and Rogelio De La Rosa.
Who, Edgar?
Edgar. Will you disagree, Mr. Maniego?
No, I don't disagree at all.
Okay, let's set the record straight. 103-89.
Of course, you might say he's more of a Cary Grant type dashing figure.
Let's not go that far now. I mean, that compliment is reserved for Commissioner Leo Prieto.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Old-timers who will, or who have seen the movies of Cary Grant will be struck by the uncanny resemblance between the founding commissioner of the PBA and the matinee idol of Hollywood during the 40s. Rudy. 4 seconds left. 105-89. Everything has been settled in this ball game, but the final winning edge of Anejo Rum. 105-89, a 16-point winning advantage for the 65ers who have just posted their first victory in the All-Filipino. On the other hand, the defending champions went off to defend their crown on the wrong foot, losing their very first